Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Donald Discussion with again with the same people as last week. It's Guy and myself.
You know what really grinds my gears? Sorry. I don't know why.
To be fair, we don't really enter like straight to the point that often anymore.
Mm,
I think we've decided that it's a bit too out there, and we should like casually like start talking as if we haven't talked for the last 10 minutes.
yeah. Even though people probably think we have. But
I
I
mean, it's
guess
obvious,
before we
isn't it?
yeah, it's a bit obvious. But before we start, just quickly for any viewer who might be wondering why it's back to
Yeah.
the no picture again. It's because I'm experiencing technical difficulties with my internet, and my phone is what I'm having to use right now. But
Yeah.
it works.
Just be happy he's here at all. You know,
Yep.
you can't have the world. So, also one of the things that I'd like to say before we actually get into it, um, for some of you, I think most of our traffic probably comes from Facebook, so it's our friends and family and such, and
Yep.
while that's appreciated and that's great, I think if you like this channel and you like to actually like keep up with us, we are doing this pretty much consistently every Wednesday since 6 weeks now. The best way to kind of keep track of this is just to subscribe on YouTube. It's by far
Yep.
the easiest way.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say. Still no sponsors, but we might have one coming up in about a month or so. So that'll be good. So Guy, what are you up to these days? Are you watching anything interesting these
Uh,
days?
Funny that you should mention. Uh,
Oh,
yes, I am.
oh,
I
really?
yes, I just recently finished the first episode of Superman and Lois from the CW,
Okay. How bad is
and
it?
it's I actually really liked it. I think
Okay.
there are a few parts that I kind of went a bit cringe, but I thought the good parts were worth it,
Yeah.
and they've done it. I think, in all honesty, because most of the CW shows have such an obvious formula of like, oh, hero shows up, they have a bit of the normal time. Bad guy shows up, they're going, oh, we have to figure out, we have to stop them. Then they fail to stop them. It's like, we have to figure out his weakness, and then they figure it out, and then the actual hero of the show, who it is about, does barely any of the work in the end. Let's be honest, Flash,
Okay.
and they win in the end, and yeah, it's all happy times, and then there's like a little bit at the end revealing a little bit more about the big overarching series villain.
Yeah.
But this
That
show, the first episode, did not have that formula.
that's pretty good. To be honest, most I don't know. I've not really been keeping up with CW shows, as you know. The only one I really watch at this point is Black Lightning, and that one is like more formulaic in the classical superhero show sense, not necessarily the CW sense, because it's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
Um, like because most of them are like man superhero likes girl, they get together at some point, I guess.
Yeah,
When
that's also a big
obviously
part of
Black
it.
Lightning and Superman and Lois, they're already in a committed
They're already
relationship.
in the relationship, yeah, which I
Yeah.
think.
To be fair, no, well,
I think
actually, Black Lightning started divorced, so
he started with a failed relationship that he was like, I gotta get the girl back,
and
and then
then
it
they
was like,
got back
yeah,
together.
yeah. Man, I hate that fucking shit. That's I will
I
say that's the
didn't mind it though.
actually, here's the thing. I don't fucking hate it. I just think when it works well. But when it
It's
doesn't,
all
it
about the
feels
kids.
forced.
What do you mean it's not about the dad? It is. The show is named after the dad.
It is about the dad, and it.
Yeah, but the show is kind
I
of about the kids at this point, which is
yeah.
cool. He's got
I
the traits
think
of the kids.
I think that's a interesting. I think I haven't watched Black Lightning yet, but from what I can gather with the fact that you don't mind it, I think there's an essence of. I think there's a better formula there because
Uh,
let's be honest.
that's
I
a bad statement on my end. It's not that I don't mind it; it's that I fucking love it
all right, you love it. There you go.
because
um,
basically it does something that most CW shows don't really do. Like most CW shows, kind of they go for a particular tone and they
Oh,
kind of
oh,
try
oh,
to stick to it, and it's a tone that doesn't particularly
work.
yeah.
Yeah, because
But
I have a question then
yeah,
about
go
it.
on.
Does Black Lightning feel like a teen drama?
No, not really. Well,
That's
a
that's
little
that's the
bit, a
thing.
little bit. Like
That
obviously with the girls and everything, but
no, no, of course, but that's
yeah,
different. Like if there's a little bit of teen drama when the kids are on, you're like, yeah,
yeah,
okay, that makes sense. They're
because
the
it
kids.
is like especially the younger daughter, like she's in like she likes a guy, they get into
He
a
doesn't like it.
relationship, she gets
Yeah,
superpowers, but he also gets superpowers because he works for the bad guy, and it gets very complex. But for the dad, it's more about like he is a struggling um school principal who is trying to protect the kids
yeah,
against he's trying to
whatever.
keep them from ending up on the streets and selling these horrible drugs that apparently fucking are lethal. um
Okay.
but what I love about it is that it has two sets of tones. It can get very serious and it can talk about like the most serious kind of political mumbo jumbo that you could possibly think of. Like all the I don't want to say mumbo jumbo, but like it talks about racism and it talks about like street life and stuff like that, and it talks about taking your life and seizing every opportunity that you have to make your life and other people's lives better. But then he puts on the
Yeah,
suit and it gets so fucking camp and it's beautiful. Like he puts on the suit, funk music starts playing, he walks down the streets and just zaps a couple of gangsters, throws out a couple of one-liners. That's what makes the show so great, is because it I think it has a different understanding of what people like in a superhero show. Whereas I feel like most other shows are trying to um they're trying to be more serious than they really can pull off to be,
yeah,
with the occasional joke.
yeah. I think that's the issue. Is like looking at like the Flash, but the Flash I feel like is the main target point because that was the flagship show
Yeah,
for a long time at this point. It was Green Arrow or Arrow,
Arrow. Yeah,
sorry, for a long time, and then it switched to the Flash. And the issue is with the Flash, it does feel like a team drama,
yeah,
and I think they've handled like the first season. I think we've talked about the first and second season are pretty good, but then after that, it became pretty bad. And someone made a pretty good point I saw in a video that it became bad when Iris West kind of became the leader of Team Flash,
mm,
and I agreed with him in the fact that I think that ruined it because it defeats the point of the whole idea that it's the Flash solving the problems. It's a show about the Flash struggling with the duality of being a superhero, being a man in love with someone, and having a job. Now it's about this no nonsense black woman who can snap with fingers, get it girl kind of thing. You're thinking, well,
yeah,
that's dumb. That's not how it works. Whereas shows like in terms of how they've handled Superman is, I'm hoping to God, and it doesn't seem like there will be, that the other thing is with all these other shows, there's always a team blank. It's Team Flash, Team Legends, Team Arrow. Whereas with 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 at least once again, it's only one episode. It didn't feel that was the case. It felt like it's a family drama with the fact that it's also about Superman, which I thought was a nice
yeah,
touch. Which I think, because it's great that it made him so flawed and show that he isn't a great dad because he is Superman. He is this invulnerable alien who can solve anything, but because of that, he may not be the perfect dad. And I think that's kind of nice in that sense. It's not heartwarming. That's a bad way of describing it. It's
yeah,
relatable. I think that would be the better way of putting it.
yeah. I think the relatability is what makes shows a lot better. Because I'll be honest, like some of the stuff that, like especially when Arrow got to like season 3, I was like, well, what the fuck am I actually watching?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do I actually? What am I? And I'll be honest, like Crisis on Infinite Earths was the last time that I actually watched anything related to any of the other CW shows. Because obviously they made it out like Black Lightning is gonna be a big deal in it, and then he essentially did nothing.
Yeah, I didn't even
Um,
bother with.
no, I'll be honest. I haven't been keeping up with any of the other shows. Um,
Um,
and so I watched this, and I thought to myself, this is bad. Like this is
yeah,
genuinely like the way they represent characters. They throw
they,
in a couple of like fan winks, but like none of it really means anything.
yeah,
Like Brandon Routh as Superman, and then he basically like he fought with the other Superman, and then
and
when it
then
looked like he was gonna become important, he got replaced by fucking Alan
Lex
Harper.
Luthor, yeah.
Um,
Let's be honest, that to me was actually really funny because I thought, of course, the leech fucking
yeah,
survived.
but like apparently he was like a recurring villain in Supergirl before all this as well, and somehow this has
I
not
don't
gotten.
think he didn't feel like a recurring villain in Supergirl. Like he didn't pop up until. It's fair, I hadn't
Apparently he
watched
was though.
Supergirl.
He was there like every now and then, and I was like, okay,
He
well,
must have been like for
okay,
like the last season, the most recent season
yeah, he
of
was,
Supergirl,
yeah,
when
yeah,
because before that he had not been in it. But yeah, but like the issue is like when I watched, like I didn't even watch it. I watched scenes from it, and I was just watching it thinking, God, this just feels like they've butchered the actual Infinite Crisis arc so badly. And then worse came to worse. They got to Brandon Routh as Superman, and I bet everyone
yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." It's like, really, they got one of the worst Superman of all time to be Superman again.
Hey,
Are we
hey,
real?
hey, hey. He was not a bad Superman. He was just stuck with the bad script. That's all it
Fair enough.
was.
Okay, they got one of the worst incarnations of Superman back on screen. How about that?
Yes, I can agree with that.
There you go. Yeah,
But other than that,
because
he was fine as Superman. I mean, the bit where the bullet fucking hits his eye gets me every time.
yeah, yeah, or the bit where he catches the plane.
Yep, classic. Gotta have that in
There,
the film.
there you go. Only two good scenes in that film throughout the whole thing. Oh, I'm gonna ignore that comment there. I'm really gonna ignore it.
And then they had Tom Welling in it as well, who also
Yeah,
virtually just did nothing. He was just there, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't have superpowers anymore because I gave them up." And it's like
why would you?
that. First of all, why would you? Second of all, it's not how it works. I mean, who am I to tell a Kryptonian how his body works?
I mean, no, that's they. I'm gonna guess you never watched Smallville, then at least, or all of it.
Not really. No.
So in Smallville, they in Smallville they introduced the formula of like, oh, there's all these different forms of kryptonite. There's green kryptonite, there's red kryptonite, there's blue kryptonite, there's paint kryptonite, there's
Of
silver
course,
kryptonite,
yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah,
black.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they introduced gold kryptonite, which if he touches it once, it takes away his powers forever.
What? So, well, but that's not the explanation that they gave in the show.
Oh,
In
well,
the Crisis on Infinite Earths, he basically just said, "I haven't been using them, and therefore I lost them."
oh,
That was literally it.
huh, yeah, that's dumb.
And so,
Fair.
basically, they literally just had him as a cameo. And oh, the one that insulted me the most, right? Somehow wasn't Superman. It was fucking Kevin
Oh,
Conroy.
yeah, I knew that's where you were going with this. The Probably one of the best, if not the best, incarnations of Batman ever.
All they had to do was have him be Bruce Wayne and just be kind of broody and shit. But no, they had to take it a step too far. And
Like,
just go
oh,
like, oh yeah, I killed Superman because he was a dick. And it's like, how was he a dick? Could you please point out what the good enough reason was for you to kill him?
yeah,
Also, since when did you kill people?
yeah.
I don't know. It's just he's my favorite Batman. They did this to him. The only way to make it worse was have Mark Hamill in there somewhere and just not be the Joker and just be like, "No, I'm cured." That's the
Which
only thing they
thing?
could have done to make it worse.
Yeah, that's the only thing they could have done. Which, thank God they didn't do that in the end. But yeah, God, like now that to be fair, because now like looking at it, and I kind of hope they keep to the quality that the pilot episode did, where Superman is like, okay, you've gotten it right, so this is what you need to do. All right, what do we need to do? You need to cancel Flash. You need to cancel Batwoman, not Black Lightning, because I have a friend who likes it. So keep that guy shit longer.
The one friend who likes it, his needs need to be heard.
But then after that, you need to make a new Batman CW show. But here's the thing: because you've done so well with Superman, you now have a lot of weight put on you to do well with this one. Because then it'll be just like the good old days with the Superman animated series and then the Batman animated series, and then you'll end those two and do a Justice League CW show, which will be just like the Justice League Unlimited series. So you see, all you have to do is replicate the formula of what was done before successfully and do it again. How hard is that?
It's not hard.
They won't do it. They won't do it that way, though.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But actually,
because they're not gonna take a they're not gonna take a request seriously when you fucking come in and just go like, cancel all these shows except for this one because my mate's my mate's into it. They're gonna go like, what the fuck are you on about?
I might have to. All right then, Ron. If I ever do get a chance to meet CW, you might have to be prepared for that. I'll put Black Lightning up on the chopping block.
No, basically, what they'll say is, you can cancel
Don't
Flash,
worry, we'll have to
you can cancel Batwoman, you can't cancel Black Lightning because that's racist, but you can cancel Supergirl.
No, but here's the issue, because then they're gonna say, but why can't we? Why do we have to cancel Batwoman? Because she's black now, so you can't use the racist angle anymore. Yeah.
You guys should have some sort of image to accompany what you're saying. Because if you, well, look above our heads. Fair enough. Yeah. It's a bit high up. It's a bit high up. So maybe I can bring it down a little bit. On a random note of like Batwoman, I think about, what was it, Ruby Rose? Is it? That's the name of the actress who used to play Batwoman? Yeah. It used to be the person who played Batwoman. I was looking up recently because I was kind of curious, like, actresses who could play Catwoman or whatever, and they mentioned her. I'm like, really though? No, not really. No, I don't see that at all. I don't see Ruby Rose as Tammy as Catwoman. Is this better? Oh my god! Actually, I see a big problem with this. Two little balls with a large thing in the middle. I don't think this is working. Should we change the background to like, I don't know, I could change the background. What should the background be? Wait, I've got the perfect thing. I wonder what it will be. Oh, you're gonna love it. I hope I am. Fuck it, this'll do. Okay. Keep talking. Don't worry. So yeah, as you're doing this, I'm gonna say last note about the Superman show. Special effects, actually, I know it's sort of a random thing to go on, but I have to applaud them because there were points where I was like, this is like watching a proper, like, feature film, $100 million, $200 million Superman film. Like, the effects weren't that incredible. It actually felt like watching Man of Steel at points. It was like, wow, that's super fucking good. That's pretty good. Yeah. I guess though, with all these shows hitting the can, I guess they've freed up a lot of budget. It's true. It's very true. You gotta make one show good, you gotta make all the others disappear. Alright. Let's move this to the back. Oh, this is not gonna work. Wait, let me This has become more complicated at this point. Wait, can I key this somehow? I don't fucking know. You're the guy in charge of this shit. Well, I don't want to be. I want to have an engineer who does this shit for me. We can't afford it. Fuck, that's true. Okay. At least Tammy would like to be our engineer. I can't reach chat right now, so I don't know if she responded to that. No, I'm just waiting to see if she does. I mean, there's latency, so okay. Yeah. Are you? Fuck it. I'll transition now because you're not gonna be able to see it. There it is. Isn't it beautiful? You know what? I'm not even mad. It's so bad.
like yeah, it looks like it's a 144p image. That's how bad this is.
Because I zoomed in like 400 times or something like that.
Oh god.
It is a bad quality image to begin with. Anyway, this is our
And
background for today.
and to answer your question, Tammy, no, we will not pay you. Actually, we will. We will pay you in
Do you accept
in.
Bitcoin?
Do you accept GME stock?
I have the stock, but you know, I'm a,
She may
it's
not
not
know how
looking
bad the
great.
value is. Anyway.
She invested as well, so she knows exactly how bad it is.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, did you also recently
Mm-hmm.
watch the last trailer for the Snyder Cut?
I did. It looked bad. I genuinely cringed.
At which part? All of it, or just
Most
sort
of it. Most of it.
Really?
I
I
don't
didn't.
know. It's just especially like also like Darkseid being in it and everything, and I just felt like, did you really have to redo a whole film just to make it longer, and just make this? I don't know. It didn't. It doesn't feel right to me.
Like that. Okay. I'll say this. I will disagree just because I think the Joss Whedon cut just felt so fucking. The issue is I have with it is it felt incoherent throughout the whole fucking film. Like you could tell, like it was made by two directors and a studio, all three of which had a different mindset of how this film should be done,
I
and therefore felt.
agree.
Whereas this one feels like there's a consistency, which I would rather have a bad film that is consistent versus a film that is, at points, in all honesty, bluntly, virtually unwatchable and inconsistent.
I. How long have you had this opinion?
Like, I just think ever since like Justice League all those years ago came out, I just thought, nah, I would have honestly rather have just sat down and watched Snyder's version of it
Really?
because yeah, because like this thing, I think Joss Whedon's great, but I just think it still wasn't even a Joss Whedon film. It felt like it was a butchered version of a Joss Whedon film that had elements of Snyder and Warner Brothers holding the reins. Like that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like it was anyone's film. It felt like Warner Brothers said, "Well, we promised people we were going to give them Justice League this year, so we kind of have to do it now. So let's just do it." And they threw it out there, and they're like, "Well, this went terribly wrong."
I could have sworn 4 years ago you said that it was actually a decent film.
Yeah, but opinions change.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because, like, yeah, 4 years ago, I thought, you know, it wasn't too bad. But then I watched it again, like the year after, and then I've been watching it a few more times. I just thought, nah, this just is not worth it.
I mean,
In all
I'll
honesty,
be honest. I'll have to watch it again, but I remember liking it more than Batman vs Superman.
well, to be fair, I think for most, like this thing, I then rewatched Batman vs Superman. I thought, no, to be fair, Batman vs Superman, as I'm sure I've told you, is my guilty pleasure
Yeah.
film. It's one of those films where while people say it's bad, I still say I like it. But you know, regardless if people tell me it's bad,
Thing is,
I will always
I
find
don't think it's
enjoyment.
a bad film, to be absolutely honest with you. I just think it gets kind of boring, especially the extended cut. But then,
Yeah, yeah,
ironically, I find the extended cut the only one worth watching
yeah,
because there's so many important plot points that are left out of the theatrical cut that
yeah.
it's almost not worth watching anymore. So it's
Because I
like
will,
watch the full three
yeah,
hours or just don't watch it at all.
like yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I have my problems with Zack Snyder. I think he is very much high on his own stuff. The fact that all of his films are so fucking long, like mate, you're not that good of a filmmaker. You can't
Yeah,
nearly justify making these films as long as they are.
I mean
Like you
they're
really can't.
they're really what's the word? Like I don't want to say self-indulgent, but you
No,
know,
they are. They are self-indulgent. They feel like
okay, well
it
there you go.
feels like a film by Zack Snyder for Zack Snyder
It's like those.
versus
It's like the film doesn't have any ribs, so it's easier to suck its own dick. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Especially
yeah,
300 is very guilty of this.
yeah. Because I will say this, I think the only good Snyder film there is that is universally kind of liked is what Dawn of the Dead.
Ah, fair.
I think that's the only film people universally say that actually is one good one. The rest are either
It's not centered.
not liked, or it's very divided.
300 made you cry.
Because it was that bad.
Because it took this long.
Hey, look, she didn't say what reason it made her cry, so we can fill in the blanks.
And we can fill in the blank.
I will say I didn't mind Watchmen, but at the same time, I could understand why a lot of people may not have.
You know, Watchmen is a double-edged sword for me.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Because basically, I'll be honest, I cringed at a lot of lines that they said, but then when I actually looked those lines up, I found out that all of them were written by Alan Moore. Like, you know, the bit where, like, you know, they're killing people in the streets, and then Allman goes like, "What happened to us? What happened to the American dream?" And I was like, that's so fucking out of nowhere.
I feel that's the thing also, to be fair, you need actors who can deliver lines like that with some gravitas. And the actor who played Owlman, he's a good actor, but I just think he didn't have that same sort of weight. Where, I mean, imagine who's a really great actor who, if you just heard say that, you'd be like, yeah, damn straight, fucking agree with that guy.
Absolutely nobody.
No, there has to be someone. Come on.
No. What happened to us? What happened to the American dream?
Sylvester Stallone.
Doesn't fucking work. Sylvester Stallone.
Oh wow! What happened to our fucking thing on the?
Oh wait, is this live? That's not meant to happen. Oh. Hang on. I'll fixed.
That thing went. There you go. That's better. That looked weird AF.
I'm just trying some things out. I didn't think it would affect the actual ongoing thing. So
nicely done.
Listen,
but,
I am learning OBS, okay? I don't do I work in TV, but this is not the kind of stuff I'm actually working with. So who the fuck even knows?
That's fair. But sorry, just quickly going back to our discussion of Zack Snyder and his things. I will say, like, when I saw the dark side in the trailer, I thought that, in terms of how it is true to the comics, admittedly pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie. It looked like Darkseid. I was like, yeah, that's impressive. And let's be honest, that's a pretty massive leap from what we got with Dawn of Justice with Doomsday. Pretty fucking big leap with that. Yep. Which that was I don't know what that was. That was my biggest bug about that film watching it. I was like, that ain't Doomsday, and I refuse to call it Doomsday. I'll call it.
Yeah, no, that was a weird.
I'll call it Grey Thug. There we go. Grey Thumb. Grey Thumb. That's what I'll call it. But I ain't calling it Doomsday.
Do you know what I noticed as well is since Justice League, I think it's safe to say that subsequent DC films got a lot more colorful. Like, you think about the first Wonder Woman, then Aquaman, then Shazam, then the second Wonder Woman, all honestly really nice looking films. Yeah. And then I see this trailer again, and I just go, oh, "Where's all the color gone?"
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like it. It doesn't work for me anymore because it's gone to the same. I feel like it's a regression on Warner Brothers' end, because now, like, these films have been doing so well. These the colorful ones, the ones that are like, this is a superhero film. You're allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to, like, amuse yourself by watching these, and it's gone right back to, we are edgy, we are dark, everything sucks.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but at the same time, I think in two aspects, weirdly, I think it's a funny thing. If they woke up one day and said, "Look, we're going to give Snyder a film. He's just going to do a Batman film," I'd say that makes a lot of sense, because Batman is dark, he's edgy, there's no color. He'd be perfect for it.
And the Batman film is the one film he's not making.
Yeah, which, weirdly enough, it still actually looks really fucking good.
Well, yeah, it looks fucking phenomenal so far.
Yeah,
we haven't even seen anything.
That's not true.
Just a trailer, okay.
But yeah,
still looks phenomenal. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I've not. That's the thing. I don't mind Zack Snyder's films, but I can understand that they wouldn't be for everyone.
Yeah, they're really not.
Yeah, they're really not. I think
had COVID on set. Well, look, it still looks phenomenal.
Huh? What?
Oh, apparently.
Oh, sorry, I just got that. Yeah.
Patterson had COVID on set. I mean, if he was real method, he would have turned COVID into an STD.
Jesus. Okay.
Who's the one playing Catwoman?
Catwoman. Do you have
Was
crabs?
was it
AIDS?
Zazie Beats or who was it?
Oh, look up the cast for. Sorry. What's it called? The Batman.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
Kravitz.
Yeah. She probably has COVID now too.
Yeah. I still find it funny that
she's the only woman featured in the cast of this film when you look at the cast on Google.
List. Actually, well, there's another woman, but she's like way down the line.
Yeah.
But I will say I love the fact that Phantom is playing Cartman.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm only going to be hearing that now when I see that film when he appears like, oh, Phantom!
Batman finds himself in a fucking like snack bar or something, and he goes, "Ah, Batman, welcome to my Phantom Muchentuchen."
And Batman's just like, what? He says, what?
He doesn't even respond. He just walks out.
He just walks out. But as he opens the door, just all of a sudden Zohan appears. He goes, "Huh, Zohan!" And Zohan like just got a fizzy bubbly, and he hands it to Batman. Like, "Fizzy bubbly. If you drink it, it's good for you."
Drink it.
Good. And he just goes in. Those two start fighting, and Batman starts walking down the street, and he takes a sip of fizzy bubbly. He's like, "Damn, that is good stuff."
Next thing you know, he's on a plane to the Middle East. I have to find the origins of this drink.
I can use this to defeat the Joker.
Literally, like, he goes into the IDF, like, starts taking notes, and he just goes, hummus.
I would pay for a Batman Zohan crossover film. I will pay to watch that.
You know what? We should, like, tweet at Adam Sandler and make it happen.
Zohan Batman
Adam Sandler and Christian Bale.
Oh no. My actions don't define who I am. And he just turns around and just...
Yes, they do, honey.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, in one of the scenes with the Zohan, just a random offside note, I always used to think it's when he's going to go and get Phantom, and it's in back in the Middle East, where he arrives and he goes, "It's on." I always used to think he always just said Zohan, so I always thought he just said his name, and I weirdly think that would actually just be better for some reason. He just arrives and goes, "Zohan,"
and they go, "We know you're famous. Stop saying your own name."
I also love the interaction he has with the guy. It's like, "It's not as cut and dry."
That's what he knew.
We should just get back to talking about. I think we've done CW and Justice League.
Yeah, I don't think there's much. Yeah, there's not much.
There's not much else to sort of talk about now. Actually, I will say, just final note, I don't think Warner Brothers has gone back on it as much as you may think, because it is only just going straight to HBO Max. It's not even getting a cinematic release. So I think it's...
I know, but still, like, you know, I don't want this film to, like, regress the standard, and I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either, because I think Warner Brothers have made it pretty clear that they've moved on. They've found a different niche, and they want to go with it. And I think that's it. I think this is Snyder's last run with. Unless for some reason it makes them like $3 billion on streaming services, and they kind of go, "Well, we've got to go back now because apparently it worked."
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, if it does, man, oh man, will that just be the weirdest fucking Twilight Zone shit ever?
Yeah,
because let's be honest,
like that.
If it does, you wouldn't like it, because then I'll be just going like, "So it made $2 billion and people love it. No offense, you, Sarah, everyone else, you were wrong. It worked."
You were wrong.
And for some reason, this competes with it. Avengers, it won't, but still.
No, obviously not.
But anyway, speaking of Avengers,
Sure.
It was Agatha. Oh la la. I love
Yeah,
that
let's
fucking
talk
thing.
about WandaVision for a second.
Spoilers, FYI, for people who may be wondering.
Yeah, spoilers. So turn away. We'll shout when you can get back, but you might not hear us. It'll be very weird.
I'll type in the chat just saying, "Come
Yeah.
back, baby, come back." I'll just put that.
Okay.
All three of our viewers, one of which is probably me, one of which is probably you, and therefore the third is Tammy at the moment.
I mean, that's what it is usually.
Yeah.
But yeah. Phew. I mean, can I just say before we go into like the whole twists and stuff like that, I really appreciate that every single episode starts with an intro in the style of a different like popular TV show.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with the next two because they've done it from 50s up to now. So I'm really curious how they're going to do it now.
I don't
Because
know.
what? It's 9 episodes. It's 9 episodes, and the last one was 7, right?
Yes. So there's 2 more episodes to go.
Yeah, because what? It was 50s and 60s and 70s, then 80s and 90s, and then the most recent one was like a Modern Family style
I think
intro.
I think they went for Office. The Office.
Office. Well, either way, that kind of
Yeah.
style. That kind of style.
Also, not really, because so I think the Office style was like the 2010s, because I think they skipped a couple of decades at some point. Because the one before that was Naughties, because they made it look like Malcolm in the Middle.
Uh,
So I think they did 50s, 60s, 70s. No, wait. Did they? Wait.
I'm pretty sure
Which
they
one
did.
which one was the Cheers one? Was that
Can't
episode
even remember anymore.
5?
3, 4, 5. I can't. Even, I
I don't
really can't
remember.
remember at this
I
point.
don't
I can't
remember.
remember at this point. But yeah, they've been doing it progressively. So I'm wondering what. I wonder if now they're going to just not have those styled intros, which would be a big loss. But at the same time, I think now they've kind of caught
I
up
mean,
to
what are you
the.
gonna do?
Yeah, they've caught up now, so there's not
Yeah.
much else I think they can do. So, and to be fair, now that they've done the big reveal, it kind of makes sense if they just went straight into it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wonder as well because it feels like it might be. I wonder if WandaVision's also a one season thing.
I think it is.
Yeah, I
Because
think.
it's meant to like lead up to the second Doctor Strange film.
Yeah,
I think
which.
it's. I'll be honest. If it is a one season thing, I'd actually prefer it.
Yeah, I think because they've done it so well
Yeah.
that it would. There's no way of doing extra seasons because I doubt Vision will survive the end of this.
Also, I love like how the show is and like the concept of it and how it's made. But I wouldn't mind it just being what it is. And also, like they've got a lot of other shows coming out
Yeah,
soon as well. Like just to name name 2 because they literally got announced today. Um, you know the
yeah,
Star Wars: The Clone Wars: The Bad Batch.
yeah.
That's starting on the 4th of May this year,
Of course it is.
and Loki is starting on 11th of June.
And then what next month is on? We're really close to it now. Falcon and Winter
Yeah,
Soldier.
but I think
Because
that's how
here's the
they're
thing.
playing it. I think that is exactly how they're playing it. Is that basically when one show ends, that's when the next one pretty much
Another's
starts.
yeah,
Because this week is the 26th. So that's the penultimate episode. So next week
yeah,
is the 5th of March.
yeah.
That's the last episode of WandaVision, and then
And
literally
then
2 weeks
what's
later.
yeah, 2 weeks later it's gonna be
Yeah,
the 19th of March.
actually,
It'll
not
be
even because the next week there's none. Yeah, so the next week after that there's nothing on Friday, and then the week
yeah,
after that it just starts right back up again.
yeah.
So
With
I feel like that's the plan with this.
yeah, because I think that's the thing. Because looking at what our person Tammy has, that's after her birthday. Uh,
Well,
but her saying, oh, it's all about money, money, money. The thing is, they can afford to end one division with one season because they have so many things going for them now. Because yeah, they've always says we've just mentioned they've got Bad Batch, they've got Falcon and Winter Soldier, they've got Loki coming up, and they're going to have more
they've
and
got
more
Boba Fett
things.
coming out end of this year, I think.
Yeah, Boba Fett at the end of this year. What Mandalorian season 2 for next year?
3,
Season 3. Sorry, season
yes.
3 for next year.
So they don't have a shortage of shows at this point, and they've got films
Yeah.
coming out as well. Speaking of which, there's been a teaser released. I think maybe a couple of hours ago. Did you see it? For the
What
next
for?
Spider-Man film.
No, I did not.
Oh, so basically there was nothing to it. It was it's literally just Tom Holland, Ned Batalon, or Jacob Batalon rather, and Zendaya just walking out of John Watts' room and just go like, "Oh, we got another fake name and everything," and then they walk past a whiteboard, with the real name. So it was more than anything. It's just it's just a name reveal.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I say it,
Yeah.
or do you rather see the thing?
Uh, is it No Way Home?
Yeah.
Yep. I literally just Google it and saw. I mean, I'll watch the thing anyway, because why not? Sorry, Tammy. She said, "Tell us nothing."
Anyway,
Boo, boo. Tammy just does not like probably the most arguably popular superhero. She doesn't like Spider-Man. She doesn't like Batman.
okay, I I hate this because
So, or she just
Spider-Man
not.
is arguably, so not definitely, but arguably the greatest superhero character ever made. Just for his simplicity and the character that he is. I'm not saying he's the strongest or most powerful or anything. I'm just saying he
No, no,
is
no.
he is the best one, arguably. Because I think it's
Yeah,
very difficult to not like Spider-Man.
no, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
He's
I
just so
think,
damn
yeah.
relatable.
Which I must confess, still kind of. I don't. It's nothing against Spider-Man. It's more just against people and the fact that it's this constant relation of saying, "Oh, he's relatable because he's just, he's more ordinary than other heroes like Superman." I think if Superman were more like Spider-Man, he'd be same sort of level.
Well,
But
that's that new Amazon Prime show Invincible, isn't it?
yeah, well, no, because what he's still basically indestructible and everything else, right? Like,
Yeah,
well, that's the thing.
but he's
I
also a
feel
teenager
people,
going to school and shit.
yeah, but that's only relatable up to a certain point.
It is.
Like, I can't relate with that anymore. I don't know how high school is anymore.
I
I don't
remember
remember my
exactly
days
how it
there.
is.
I do remember how it was, but I can tell you right now,
It
my high
sucked.
school. I can tell you this right now. My high school experience was not the same as Spider-Man's.
Well, no, obviously not. Because he didn't have any fucking superpowers.
But so therefore, he's not relatable. There you go. Boom. You can't relate to him. You don't have any fucking superpowers. Thanks for hiding shit from me.
What?
I don't have
No,
power.
I don't have power.
Ron, are you secretly a superhero slash maybe supervillain?
No.
I don't believe you.
Maybe a little.
Lol. Okay. But
Have you ever heard of this guy Donald Trump? Yeah,
wait, what?
that's me.
I'm confused now. How does that make you relate to Spider-Man? The fact that you're Donald Trump?
because I was a president for 4 years. So, I know what it's like to have great responsibility and
Oh,
also
for
great
God.
power because of
Oh,
that
for
small loan of $1 million. You know,
God's sake. Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
I just pretend to be Jewish
I'm so disappointed in you.
to explain how I'm filthy rich.
So disappointed. So disappointed. Anyway, carrying on.
Someone left.
Tammy, stop watching.
Anyway, hijinks aside.
Yeah, going back to I hate the argument of people saying, "Oh, they're not relatable because they're overpowered." I think every superhero is overpowered at some point. Spider-Man was godlike at some point in the comics.
Dude,
Yeah,
he is godlike.
yeah. There you go. See, like at every point, every superhero is the most OP ever. It's just whether or not You like them as what?
Well, but here's the thing. Like, do you know that? So Spider-Man, one of Spider-Man's key powers is that his strength is the relative strength of a spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
The relative strength of a spider is fucking strong.
Yeah.
So if Spider-Man wanted to, he could punch a guy and literally just create a hole in his body and still launch the
There you go.
guy 20 meters further.
Yeah.
Um, but he holds back his punches constantly.
There you go.
This
See,
is honestly, this is something I'd like to see in a film where like he accidentally fucking kills a guy and he goes like, "Oh shit,
I mean,
oh shit."
he kind of does in the first Spider-Man film with Tobey Maguire.
He
With
does, yeah.
the
So I think
yeah,
it counts.
it counts. Yeah. Like, yeah, I think that's the issue I've had with such people in the modern day. Because the big argument from one of our friends, I won't mention names, but she loves Captain Marvel, and I just watch it thinking, you only love Captain Marvel because it is a female superhero, not because she is a good superhero.
There's better female superheroes out there, though.
There are way better female superheroes, like because she went out and bought like a jacket in the style of Captain Marvel, but she never did anything like that for Wonder Woman. But I thought that I feel like says a lot also mainly about not a lot about this person, but I feel like you probably also like Brie Larson more than Gal Gadot because Brie Larson's more bitchy. Do I
Activist.
want to say? Yeah, she's more of an activist, so I feel like that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Gal Gadot's just a nice person, just wanting to make people happy. And I thought, there you go, that's a real life superhero, not Brie
Yeah.
Larson.
Well, the
Anyway,
thing is, I don't know. I'll be honest. I've rewatched rather more stuff with Brie Larson in it,
yeah.
and like, I can't really say anything about her acting. It's not that bad. I feel like Captain Marvel
No,
was just a case of very bad direction.
no. It's not even just that. I think Brie Larson's a terrific
Yeah.
actor. I think she's fine. I just think that I don't personally like her. But to be fair, I can always watch
Yeah.
films with actors I don't like, and then
Yeah. Well,
think films are terrible with actors that I do like. But the other thing is as well because I watched Kong Skull Island the other day. I thought Brie Larson in this film is actually really good, and I really liked
yeah.
her.
Well,
But I just did not
Community.
like her. Never
She was
watched
just,
Community.
oh, I can recommend it. It goes a bit far sometimes, but I think you might like it even more because of it. Um, Wonder Woman is fine, but I don't know. She makes me feel like you can never reach that. I mean, Captain Marvel is actually so much stronger than Wonder Woman when you look at like the
Not,
powers that she has.
I mean, in the films, yes. In the comics, not so much.
No, not so much in the comics, I guess.
No, no. What I mean in the comics, one was the literal goddess of war, who has fucking pummeled Superman at times. I mean,
Yeah,
in Captain Marvel, despite what Kevin Feige may say, well, what he might have been forced to say, I don't really know. Captain Marvel ain't the fucking strongest
yeah.
Avenger.
But this is the thing. I mean, with
But
that argument as well, it's you know, it's weird to aspire to be like Superman, but Superman is not about the powers.
yeah, that's the thing. I
You
think
know?
people who think it's unreachable to achieve who they are think if you're looking at that, then yes, because you can't ever have super strength, flight, whatever. It's about the people. And to be fair, Captain Marvel, especially in the comic, is not someone to aspire to be at all. She
Yeah.
was an alcoholic. Was she beat people. She was not a good person. Whereas Wonder Woman is kind, compassionate, caring. She represents the best of us, like
She
just like Superman
yeah.
does, and that's what people should aspire to be in some ways. Not all. They don't. You don't have to be like them because that's the thing. That's why I would actually, and I know I've just been talking about it, but I would recommend the Superman show because it shows he's a great superhero and he can do all these things, but he still questions himself, and there's still flaws to him. Because there were parts of that show where I thought, he isn't that good of a father. I don't think it doesn't make him a
Well, no,
bad guy. It
he's
just means,
flawed like an ordinary human
yeah,
being.
yeah, exactly. It makes him.
Because what makes I mean, if I ask this question, we are going to overrun like hell. But I don't have a problem with that because I've got nowhere to go. What
Fair
makes
enough.
someone human?
Yeah.
Is it the flesh and blood and genetics, or is it the ideals that you uphold and the problems that you go through? I think that's central question that comes down to Superman.
Yeah.
And I feel like with uh, is Batman even human? I mean, yes, he is, because
No,
obviously he is a human
because
being in that sense.
he is
But
a human. Because this is my biggest problem with Batman is that
right,
I don't mind the character and everything, but I think he is. Last thing people say Batman is relatable because he's human. I say yes, physically he is, but Superman is relatable emotionally because he is afraid, he has worries, he has troubles. He's very basic in that sense, especially now with "Am I a good father? Am I a good husband?" versus Batman, where it's like, "Will I stop the Joker? Will I be able to prevail and bring
yeah,
justice?" Like Batman is a machine. He is not a
Batman is a
person.
machine that is completely driven by PTSD.
Exactly. He is driven by an obsession, an
Uh,
obsession that is not very relatable to a lot of people.
there's a film. Oh, I forgot its name now, with Woody Harrelson. Um, fuck.
Look at Woody Harrison, see what
Uh,
it's been. But I'll just quickly. Uh, Tammy just said she wants to be like Storm. You go. It's up to you which hero you want to emulate.
I mean, Storm is good.
Yeah, he is. I have no problems with Storm. I actually don't think Storm has ever gotten enough love in the movies, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, they kind of like had her just kind of be there and didn't really
Yeah.
do anything with that.
What?
Oh, it's at the tip of my
Trying to.
tongue at this point.
I'm
Um,
guessing not 3 billboards. It's not
no, no, no.
Midway.
It's much longer ago,
What sort of year, roughly?
like 2000s ish. Oh,
That
I'm so
doesn't
close. I
narrow
can
it
feel
down.
it. I can feel it.
Um,
Defendor. That's the one. Defendor. There's a film with Woody Harrelson called Defendor, where basically he
Okay.
plays.
Oh.
So he plays a superhero, but like
Okay.
he thinks he's a superhero. Actually, he's a fucking annoyance to a lot of people as well. But he's completely fucked in the head, and so he thinks that
Yeah.
everything that he does is like hunting down this big bad and stuff like that. That's what Batman is, but slightly more in a
Yeah.
successful sense. And also his
And in
villains
the
are
sense
real.
that they're actual real villains.
Yeah, that's really
To
the
be
only
fair,
difference. Yeah,
because here's the thing I will say. The one positive thing I think that comes out of Batman is since a lot of his villains are created by him.
yeah,
Like a lot of them are created by Gotham, and whereas Superman, quite a few of his villains have, like Lex Luthor especially, well, was already a bad guy, was never a villain, and he became a villain when Superman arrived. And it's not even Superman having to do anything; it's just his mere presence. Just like Vision said in Civil War, his mere existence invites challenge, which I think is one of the nice things about Superman. It's this sense of, I think that's one of the interesting aspects of Superman. You know, that all-powerful person, and people see that, and you have two you have two feelings towards that. You either embrace it and relish in him and claim him to be your savior, like a lot of people have done, or you fear and despise the very nature
yeah,
of him, like Lex Luthor, which I think is one of the interesting aspects, which I feel the modern world, despite the fact Superman is not real, kind of emulates. You either aspire to be someone like Superman and look up to him, or you just simply say, nah, he's bad because he's not an interesting hero. It's that sense of
yeah,
this almighty powerful being who actually is all good invites this essence of, do you question the moral compass?
yeah. I'll be honest. If you don't like Superman, most of the animated Superman films kind of nail this idea, I think, and actually make
Yeah.
him like they basically prove his existence and like make it show that first of all, by nature he wants to help people, but also that he's just raised to be a particular person.
Yeah.
Especially, I said it once, and I'll always say this: if you don't like Superman and you want one film to convince you that Superman is a great character, then watch Superman versus the Elite.
Yeah.
That's the one I always recommend because that's
Yeah.
the whole core rule about not killing people and the capabilities that he has as a hero, like using his
And
superpowers to like make points.
Yeah, and never going too far or taking that extra step. Because here's the thing, it's a very great confronting movie, I would say, because for most people, I always make the argument of saying they always say, "Oh, I don't like Superman. I think he's dull and boring." I say, exactly. Here's the issue: if you watch Superman versus the Elite is what you want. You want that gritty, cool, flawed villain, or well, hero that in the end will probably become the villain, or is manipulating and using you. But what you need is Superman, because in the end, what you see is what you get. He may be boring, but good and boring is better than evil and manipulative
Yeah,
in that sense. But yeah, it's Superman. The Elite is Superman versus the Elite is fantastic.
yeah, and yeah, I think
But,
it's the single greatest. I think for me, it's the most defining thing. Uh, like the most defining film for Superman. Like, I know people usually like
yeah,
to say All Star Superman, but I don't think it's that great.
no, I would agree with you. I don't think it's that fantastic. I
It's
think it
good,
feels more
but I
like
think it's fan service more than anything.
yeah, it is
I don't
fan
think it works
service.
on its own. For a
No, I don't
newcomer.
either.
What was the last one? Man of Tomorrow is. I mean, despite being strange, it is good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good. I don't think that's the thing. It's not the best of any of the anime films by a long stretch, but it is a nice origin to him
yeah,
in that sense. It feels like it feels like a more interesting rendition of his origin that made him feel more almost not weak, but less super in a weird sense, but in a way that made you feel like he is just starting
yeah,
out and therefore he is going to make mistakes, which I think is nice.
yeah. And then there's Red Sun, which is just.
Which is just a good time.
I just, I just, I just look. I mean, that film is still so good. Like,
Yes.
honestly, like considering what it is, it's so good.
I find it interesting actually that I think in terms of the animated films, I think Superman has had a better run with animated films than Batman has. I think Batman's had some really fucking good ones, and you can argue that which one Under the Red Hood is probably the best of all of the
Oh,
animated superhero films.
hands down.
But there
And
are
so
some
by nature as
bad
well,
Batman.
I will say Under the Red Hood slash Death in the Family, because
Yeah,
Death in the Family doesn't feel like its own thing.
yeah,
Like it just feels like a couple of alternative things that could have happened. Um,
yeah. Like a few deleted scenes or
yeah,
alternative scenes that they
it's still
just
really
decide.
cool. Like if
Yeah,
you know,
of
it's good to
course.
experience, but like it's not it doesn't work on its own.
Yeah,
Um,
because I'm
then
just sort of
the
on.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, that was good. My point being more is if you look at some of like when I
Yeah,
think
after
even the
Flashpoint.
New 52 animated Superman films were actually pretty good. Like The Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman were actually
Yeah,
good. Whereas if you look at the New 52 Batman animated films, some of
they
them
were
were
all kind
okay,
of
some of them
weird.
were they were all weird and I don't think they were that great.
Yeah,
They just
none of them
felt
really
like they did
worked.
them none of them really worked. But let's be honest, the killing joke was
Yes, but that was.
mm,
I'll be honest. The Killing Joke was bad because it had an entire 45 minutes at the beginning of it that really didn't need
yeah,
to be there, and
no.
it frustrates me that the large majority of a film based on a book is completely not in the books,
Yeah.
and the only defense that they have against it, sorry, the only defense they have for it is so that we know who Batgirl is, for when she gets shot. But the book was never about Batgirl getting shot. It's
No.
about Joker trying to make a point.
Yeah.
It wasn't about Batgirl at all. It was about Gordon, if anything. So
Yeah,
I
trying to break
yeah,
Gordon and Batman. That was
and
the whole point of that.
Gordon was basically not in that first part at all. So I remember
No, he
when it came
wasn't.
out on digital as well. I remember like I
Yeah.
recut it and I literally just cut out the
Yeah, you
first
mentioned
45 minutes.
yeah.
Well, first 30 minutes to be fair. Um, and then when it gets to the actual film, it gets good, but it isn't better than just reading the book. Like at that point, you may as well just read the book, and there's really nothing else to it, except if you just want the classic voices. Um, And
Sorry, just
yeah,
quickly to point out, Tammy, I completely I have to say, I think your comment, you, I don't think you've actually read that many Origins of Superman, because, especially in Man of Tomorrow, he fucks up a lot. He starts at C tier, if not lower.
yep,
Like, he has to come to grips with Wonder Woman. I could see an argument for, because she was trained,
yep.
whereas Superman has no training, was never really, like, he had to learn himself how to use his powers, which he had no mentor. Most superheroes have had a mentor.
The
Hmm.
the thing about gods is, why isn't Tammy on this call actually?
What, Tammy? One day you've got to. You just got to come on.
Okay, so basically, um,
Well, actually, no.
I
Here's
would
the. Sorry, I'm
say,
going to quickly say, Storm is an S tier because she controls the weather itself. I mean, that's pretty fucking godlike. Storm beats Wonder Woman. Like, literally, they did a whole combo versus series at some point between DC and Marvel, and Storm beat Wonder Woman.
yep.
So
Also,
Storm wasn't ever at C tier. She was always at an S tier. In fact, Wonder Woman was at an A tier. She was underneath Storm. So
also technically, if you want to be that way about it, then don't like One Punch Man, because
it,
yeah, he wasn't always an S tier superhero, but he got to that point somehow, by apparently doing a very basic workout routine for like a year. When the show starts off, he is S tier, and thank you.
and yeah, and here's the other thing. You're saying, oh, she was just a thief. Superman was just a farm boy. He was just a guy who grew up on a farm and didn't even know how to use his powers at the start. He had to learn once again. Once he
Wait,
was not even
hang
in
on.
his teens.
How am I, Tammy? Please explain, how am I proving your point by pulling One Punch Man?
Actually, by this logic,
She'll
she should
explain
love
this.
Batman
Batman has
because
always been S tier. Not
fair,
even
I'll give
Joe
you that.
Chill could kill him.
I'm all fair because I'm trying to get her to say she likes Batman. Just stuff like that.
Okay, this way of discussing this whole thing doesn't work. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't. The thing is, I don't want to. I don't want to be right for the sake of being right.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong. So,
I mean, we could just say she's right and then we're wrong and end it there and make
if
her feel bad.
if anything, this should be a hub for opinions.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, anyway,
Here's the thing,
yeah,
because I will say, because I think I can understand the point, but by the logic, most superheroes do start at C tier. Superman has started at C tier. A boy raised on a farm, not knowing who he is, having to learn how to use his powers on his own. Storm, yes, is a C tier, but she became an S tier. But so did many, many others. Wonder Woman, I would agree, is a S tier. She started off pretty much as a god and had training since day one when she was a kid. That is, I can agree with that 100%.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other super. It's very Thor as well.
S
It's
tier.
very rare to find superheroes who actually do start at S tier. I think
Hulk.
because Hulk, yeah, actually, yeah, Hulk as well. Who else? Batman. Actually, you made that point.
Batman. Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one because he's a prick.
he has god tier armor that no one has, and that armor is called plot armor.
Even Superman doesn't have plot armor because the plot fucking killed him in a few of his own. God.
Oh, Batman is hit by omega beams. He's not dead. He's just traveled back in time. That armor is called money. he just fucking pads his armor with money. That'll stop the bullets.
Yeah, that is called motherfucking money. I'm trying to think. Captain America wasn't S tier because he started off as a scrawny fucking kid in New York.
Yes, but then he got the powers, and from then on, he was pretty much like adept with
That's
them
true.
immediately.
Actually,
so it's I don't know how to define S tier.
No, I would give you.
Let's
this
say A
instead.
tier. Let's say A tier, Because
Yeah, I would say
he's not. He can still die. He's not a god.
yeah, I would say this actually because he went from not being on a tier to just being an A tier straight away.
Yep.
I think that makes sense. Whereas with Superman, didn't I would argue similar sort of situation. He started like an A or B tier and then became an S tier very quickly, but he didn't start in an S tier. That's my argument with Superman because I am constantly frustrated and annoyed with people who, and it's not in a frustration that I don't like them. It's more just I find it that it's hard to try and make a point with people who just don't understand Superman. And I always think, no, you should love him because he's Superman, but I don't want to force you because that's wrong.
The thing is, I'm not gonna say that you have to love Superman because it's Superman, right?
Yeah, that's wrong.
I just want to point out to people that they don't like Superman because he is boring and unrelatable because he is immortal, and to
Which
that,
he's not.
honestly, yeah. First of all, he's not really immortal, and second of
He's
all,
died.
again, it's not well. It's not about his immortality. It's not
Yeah.
about having those powers and being interesting because they have to like beat increasingly more like powerful uh enemies that they
Villains.
might not that they
Yeah.
might not overcome. To me, it's dealing with that level of power. Like, it's no wonder to me that Ron loves loving no one. That is so cruel.
That is so cruel.
I love Superman, by the way. Sorry, I love Spider-Man, by the way. If you want to assign anything to me, um, Spider-Man, in when he was created
Here,
in 1963, was imbued with a powerful mantra from his uncle, which was, "With great power, there must also come great responsibility."
yeah.
And I think Spider-Man carries it well. He
Yeah.
embodies that well, but
Yeah.
so does Superman,
Yeah, he
and
does.
arguably Superman more so because he is much more powerful
He does. And I
and
think
therefore has
that's
much more responsibility. But not just that he has more responsibility, he takes on more responsibility,
yeah, because
way more responsibility.
that's the thing. Because the we have yes. But
Oh, it's all S's.
it's all
Hey, hey, hey,
that's
hey.
yeah. Got to give you applause there.
I
Gotta give you
mean,
applause
I mean, if we want to be fair about it, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. My favorite comic book character, it's gonna be Deadpool.
there. That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. But I think the other thing is as well with Spider-Man. There's an interesting, I think, juxtaposition between Spider-Man and Superman. That Spider-Man was told by his uncle, "With great power comes great responsibility," whereas with Superman, his father Jonathan told him, "You have to find a way to be who you are.
Yeah.
You make that choice." Like he never told him you had to take on that responsibility. You didn't have to have that responsibility. Whereas Superman felt after his father's death it was just the right thing to do, which, yes, you can argue is a similar path, but I think it makes them both different enough not to be the same, but makes them similar enough to make you think, yeah, they're both the arguably the two greatest real superheroes there are in comic books to this day,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it totally does.
Yeah, because I think that's the great thing as well. Like, I think Superman has always pushed that argument of like, you ultimately have to make the decision of who you are, not whether or not you're the hero or the villain, but who you are as a person, which I think is a very valuable lesson people need
Yeah.
to take. It's about wondering who you are as a person and if whether or not you're happy with that decision. That's always what it's been about with him. But yeah. Oh, but
I just like Superman.
yeah, I also I'll say this. I just like Spider-Man. I've my appreciation for Spider-Man has grown more and more over the years. Especially, I think really because of the Spider-Man games recently. I think getting to actually play
Oh, for
Spider-Man in
sure.
the games makes you feel a greater appreciation. But
It just feels right because it feels like, in a way, first of all, it feels fun to swing around. Like,
yeah, so
I'll
much
be
fun.
honest. Like, at this point, I'd like to, as a joke, I'd like to say, you know, if I could have one superpower, it would be the power of flight because I have a severe fear of falling
Yeah,
from a very, you know, scaled height. But
yep.
ooh, Jesus. Um, but I think if I were to choose between swinging like that and flying, I would just go for swinging because it looks so much more fun.
That's fair. I think that's completely fair because you always want to, in the end, find a way to sort of decide. I want to emulate my hero in some physical sense. And yeah, for you, it would be it would be the swinging. For me, I'll be honest, it is a bit of a toss up between either flying or heat vision because I just think heat vision is so fucking cool. I'm honest.
I mean, it is pretty cool. It's just difficult.
It's also incredibly pointless unless you're like a fucking
Oh, it's very
welder.
pointless.
But yeah, flying would definitely be.
Yeah, I think I would
It's
still
just the
elect
fall.
swinging over flying though.
But yeah, also Tammy does make a point. Flying is just falling with style, which
Yeah,
apparently in the new Wonder Woman film is what she does.
flying
Not
is
getting too much.
flying is just falling in the opposite direction.
That is such a great argument.
Also,
Oh
can I
god.
pop down some breaking news?
Ooh.
Well, so you know how we talked about GameStop before,
Yeah.
and it's been on like the $40 mark for a while. I don't know how, but it started kind of going up today, like well earlier this week. I think to do with the hearings of last week. And since we started this podcast, well, at the moment that we started this podcast, it was at $50 a share, which is like $5 a share more than it was this morning. And then it started popping. It's at
Damn.
it's at 80 right now. I don't know what the fuck happened, but you know,
I mean, that always happens when something gets more traction in you. It always starts going up in the end.
I mean, do you think it might happen? That we
I
might go.
think I'll emulate Superman and say if it does, you have I don't know what Superman would say in this situation. Something positive and optimistic.
He would. He totally would.
Yeah, he would. You know what he would do this. He would lift you up, saying, "You know what? It's great that it's doing this for you. There's hope always." But he would then put a hand on your shoulder, saying, "But if it doesn't happen, that's okay, because there'll always be something else that comes around to make your day even better." There you go. That's what I'm gonna say.
Anyway, do you have?
The silence. He's like, "No, please don't. It just has to happen. I don't want anything else. Just give me my
I
GNE stock."
I'm just hoping. I'm dreaming. I am with my head in the fucking clouds. It seems to have stagnated. It might not go further up, but if it only gets to like $220 per share, I can just get all of the money back that I put in, which is like 2.5K. Just give it back to me, please. I'm gonna be out of a job in a month. I need this money. I need this money so
Jeez.
bad.
Jesus Christ. What
What was I
oh
thinking?
my.
What was I thinking? Why would I quit when I'm in such a bad? That's like half of
Run.
all my savings.
Run. Run. No, Ron, you are the Rachel in this situation. God damn it. You will find something else that comes along.
What do you mean? Rachel didn't have money invested in GameStop, and certainly not
She
half
had
of her life savings.
fair enough. Fair enough. So I will also point out I find that the common point between Tammy where it was like he would lift you up when we were talking about what Superman would do and saying he would lift you up and pin you against the wall. And I was like, well,
I
that's
don't.
certainly a
I
very
don't like where this is
straightforward
going.
thing.
I don't like where
And then
this is going.
she then replied with, "Wait, you aren't his wife." So
No, he has only one wife.
and ain't no woman or man messing with her man.
No,
Snap, snap. And you
may as well
fuck with
change his
Lois
name.
Lane.
May as well just change his name to Peter, because the only love he has is Lois. That's sour. I
Wow.
I see that. That's sour.
Okay, we're probably gonna have to wrap it up there
Yeah,
after
we're gonna
that.
have to wrap it up. Let's play some
Oh,
Civ.
yeah, if we even can.
Oh yeah, that's
My
true. The
Wi-Fi.
internet thing. Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, that may not be
Do
an
you know
issue.
what?
That may
I
not
think
happen
we
for me.
might have a national problem with internet at this point.
That's true. It may be just National Internet Issues Day.
Yeah. because, well, I've been having this, well, for a while now, and actually I'm with Virgin, which is different from you, obviously. And Virgin has
I don't
been
even.
having issues recently with, like, basically, like, area
Yeah,
issues. And so
I was just think.
sometime end of last, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just supposed to say I don't think it's BT here. My parents. Yeah, go on.
Well, so basically, end of last week, I got an email saying, "Oh, we've upgraded your Wi-Fi." Right. So apparently, like, they put on new patchware on my router, whatever it is. And
Router.
oh yeah, thank you. And um basically, um they so
Fuck with your
basically,
internet and it
yeah,
messed it up. Yeah.
basically, I figured, okay, well, this is the reason why my internet has been fucking lately. But then on
Yeah.
Sunday, I was out of
Whoa,
internet for
whoa,
like,
whoa. I mean, did it buy whatever was fucking dinner first? I mean, Jesus.
I mean, obviously the internet wasn't fucking, because then they'd have to change the name.
What would
Virgin.
they change it to? Harlot? Tran? Slut?
Cherry popped.
At
Holy
slut
shit,
Wi-Fi. We
100%.
promise you.
It reached
Oh wow.
$90, dude. What the fuck is happening?
Back on, boys.
It's back on. To moon. Actually, it looks like everything is going up now. Phew. Something certainly happened. Anyway, oh, I'm fucking excited now. Anyway, yeah, let's cut it there. I think Jefferson
Yeah.
Pierce here is getting a little bit tired as well.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit getting a
He's
bit
just looking
weary.
down. He's looking down,
He's
mouth
looking
slightly
at his
open,
phone.
thinking, "Man, I just want this to end."
He's just looking at his phone. Brother just made some big bank.
Wow. Okay. Well, before he tries to emulate any more black slurs, we're gonna end it there before we get cancelled.
What do you mean
Uh,
slurs? Bank
you
is not
can't
a
pull off what,
slur.
or sorry, black phrases. I guess like I don't know. You know what I mean?
I just I just
Look,
I just said
I'm just
brother.
tired.
I just
Okay.
said brother.
Look, yeah, you can't pull it off. I'm sorry.
Brother.
No, I ain't your brother.
That's a Hulk quote.
Okay. Oh,
Anyway.
random note. Recently, we watched Thor Ragnarok, and on the subject of me changing my opinions about films, I like it a lot more now.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice, glad you
See, it
do.
can happen.
It can happen. I mean, I'll be honest. Thor Ragnarok, very out there. It's
Yeah,
very
very up there.
he's but I think that's one of the things that makes it so good,
Yeah,
is it feels like it's a parody of itself, and at the same time it's its own thing.
yeah,
Right? Like a
very
Mel
much so.
Brooks film.
Because here's the thing. This shows you I'm getting tired, but we'll just quickly wrap it up
Yes.
with the talk of the next Thor film with Thor: Love and Thunder. I feel like it will either be horrible because of Natalie Portman, or it will be great despite her because of Chris Hemsworth and Taika Waititi having to do a lot of fucking heavy work in that film. It'll be one of the
They're
two.
going to have to.
Yeah,
But it will be glorious.
it
No,
will be.
actually no.
One way or no. It will be one way or the other.
Yeah.
It will be a glorious train wreck, or it will be a glorious masterpiece. One of the two. I doubt there'll be a middle ground with that
Okay, so
film.
Tammy, I personally I've had
Not
not
just you.
well, yeah, you as well. But I can only speak for myself when I say I've had a problem with Natalie Portman since just after Dark World, when she said, "Oh, superhero films are for, like, essentially, like, the commoners," or so, like, she didn't say it like that, obviously, but she was like, "Oh, it's for simpletons." Um,
Yeah.
and she basically berated the Marvel fan base. Um, because she was like, "Oh, these films are actually really bad, and I'm basically ashamed of, like, being part of it, and I don't want to be part of it anymore," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, The fact that she has now come back into this world in a lead role and is gone like, yeah, I love these films. It's all great.
It's so
Honestly,
fucking two-faced.
it's like, okay, so now that it's garnered a shitload of success, now you're interested.
Yeah, it's very much just she's in it for the money, which time is going to say it's always about the money and money, money, money. But it's
Disney loves
just
money.
it does. But apparently, so does Natalie Portman. So you see, she can relate to Disney
Yeah,
perfectly. She is Disney.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather
Actually, no,
see.
that's not true. At least that's it. That's not true because I find Disney somewhat likable at times.
They make decisions at times that are positive.
Are positive, and you can agree with. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not like Natalie Portman for a while. I've always thought she's pretentious.
Yep, agreed. So yeah, but honestly said, um,
I hope it's good, but I'm not holding out too much hope
no, I agree. And
because
yeah,
because I'm slightly worried now that she's come back in a leading role that will just turn into another Captain Marvel film. We'll be like, oh, you know, Thor
that
is
is the
basically
worry.
useless in it.
That is the worry.
Yeah, because I'm worried they're basically going to make Thor useless, and it's not some great redemption arc for him where he can still be funny. But
Yeah, I'm just hoping. I'll be honest. I'd rather see Jon Favreau's Thor. I think that would be so much better.
yeah,
You'd get all these powers, and all he does is just use it to cook
yeah.
and just make TV shows.
Oh God.
The Mandalorian is in a fucking thunderstorm, and he goes, "Oh no, we don't need VFX for this. I'll just do it. Don't worry."
Oh wow. Oh, but yeah,
Yeah,
love Chris
that's
Hemsworth though.
Chris
And
Hemsworth.
it's not just because
Yeah,
he's got he's not got just rock hard abs and pecs. He's generally a nice, likable guy.
yeah. Well, he's got a bit of a tub in the latest Avengers film, so if
Yeah.
you like him for the
Actually,
abs, you'll be disappointed.
if I have to ask. Actually, we should make Tammy watch just the Thor scenes from Endgame just to get her.
Just watch Endgame.
See, yeah. But anyway, um, just as a random note about why I like Chris Hemsworth so much.
Sure.
Have you seen the fucking comparison of Robert Downey Jr. with like his kid, where he's holding her or him and just being a nice, decent father, and then then there's the picture next to that of Chris Hemsworth holding his son or daughter up by the leg in the water, just going ah, just like that. I thought
Yeah.
that makes him such a cool and awesome dad. I'd want to be Chris Hemsworth's son so badly.
I
It'd be
don't.
such jokes.
I
It'd be
don't.
such jokes, though.
I would hate to be his son, especially at
Why?
this age, because imagine like living with him as a son, and he goes like, "All right, son, time to go for a run," and you go, "No, Dad, please, I just want to stay inside and look at memes." And he's like, "Oh, come on, mate, you gotta lose
No,
that tummy."
I'm pretty sure he would want to look at the memes as well. That's the kind of guy I think he is.
No, he's gonna have you work out consistently, and it's like, yeah, this is great because I'm losing weight and shit, and I'll look good, and I have these abs that you have.
No,
But
I don't
holy
think he would
shit, I
do
don't
that.
want to do the work.
I don't think he's like that with his kids. His best mate, absolutely, but I don't know he's like that with his
Father,
kids.
please. I
I feel
can't
like
do
this.
this, father.
I feel like there's some weird underlining issues that you need to talk about because I doubt Chris Hemsworth would be
Not
like
with
that with
my
his kids.
father, that's for sure. My
Maybe
father,
that's the problem.
because my
Maybe
father
that.
doesn't work out.
Maybe that's the problem. Ron,
Are you
is your
saying there's a
father
problem with my
ever
father not working out?
No, I'm saying, is there a problem the fact that he never asked you to not work out with him?
I mean, he did, and I
Was
flatly refused.
was Daddy not ever there for you?
He was,
Take
he
you to the
was.
fair to
I
change your
mean,
underwear?
I don't really need him to change my underwear. I mean,
Did he ever really
I'm
care?
what's going on? What is actually going on?
I have no idea.
Jefferson,
I'm
please
just
help.
I'm tired right now. I don't know.
Wait, can I make Jefferson move in a weird way? Let's find out. Yes, I can. I am
Uh,
Jefferson Pierce.
oh, for God's sake.
I am done with this shit. It's going for way too long. None of it's funny. Please, please end the stream.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Jefferson speaks.
Jefferson has spoken.
Yeah. He has spoke.
It's time to end.
It is time to end. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.